Get that car, I'm on my way, no time to waste. I got it, jet swerving.
Yo, what it do, family? It's your favorite host, Mike on the mic from the Vibe Respected Podcast. Tapped in with my guys at Ground 3 Radio. DJ OK, DJ RTs on the ones and twos. We back again, another Taco Tuesday, another series of interviews, man. Listen, shout out to each and every one of my listeners. Make sure you call in at 443-377-1872. Again, the number is 443-377-1872. Now listen, y'all know I usually don't discuss relationships or dating and anything of the sort of the show, but I gotta make an exception today for my special guest because it's my guy in the building. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna hit a little close home today. So, if you're listening, make sure you got a little libation with you because you already know what type of time it is. So now, on to the special guest. We got a special guest here. We were supposed to have him last week, but I'm so glad that he was able to pull up this one. He got one of my favorite hosts and personalities on 1500 Radio, period. In general. And this guy, he works extremely hard. He asks the hard questions on his platform. Over 2,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel and even more viewers on The Morning Source, along with Chief the Party Rocker and the Beautiful Bree. He just wrapped up season 1 of his Toxic Clinic. You can find on YouTube. Super dope guy and always shows love, man. We finally linked up to have a conversation, man. We got my guy, 1500 Radio Zone, Chee in the building. What's up, Chee?
It is, baby. You know this hashtag is got my edges, no face shade, got white teeth, and I got good jeans. This is it.
Talk to him.
Hashtag Toxic Cheesy, baby.
Toxic Cheese.
You know what it is, man. Umbrella and Toxic.
You already know this. Tell my listeners who want to learn about his platform and learn some of the things he's working on, go over to Mr. Got That Glow _Chee. Again, it's at Mr. Got That Glow _Chee on IG as we go through the interview, so you can match your craft to the man.
Y'all really glowing in person, man.
You like illuminated. It's brighter all of a sudden.
With Mike, man.
Man, it's such a pleasure, man. With Mike. Yeah, of course, man. I gotta get, go real early with the conversation because we know each other personally outside of this. But I want to, open it up to the viewers and ask, what made you get into radio and what did you do to get your start in it?
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy because I never wanted to be in radio.
Really?
I never wanted to be in radio, right? I'm gonna tell a crazy long story, make it kind of short, but
sure.
So I smoked, we smoke, right?
Yeah.
At the time, I had some haze, and somebody asked for some haze. A chick asked for some haze. She was into radio. I got bubbly ass personality, and I glow, right? I fucking glow, right? Like, what's the real shit, right?
No, you're all good. You get one. Everybody gets one.
If I went to swear job, you should have a swear job.
It's in the back. Don't worry. That's my cash.
I got it. And she said, "You'll be good for radio." She introduced me to 1500 film.
Yeah.
And it's been on since then. It's been on since then. The transition was easy because I'm from here, so it's a local show. I mean, it's a local radio platform.
Right.
I'm from here, born, raised, still live.
Right.
It's the same. I call myself Mr. Baltimore. It's the same. So it was one of them ones where my personality fit into that type of entertainment. So I've been doing it ever since.
You fit in.
I just fit right in, like I slid in.
Okay. That's interesting because I see you on the Morning Source, and I want to ask you how you got involved with being with the Morning Source, and was that just a natural progression of things? Like you got into radio, you sort of fit in where you were, and then they were like, "Oh, you're perfect for the Morning Source." How did that come?
So I was doing another show. I had my own show at first called Cup of Chee. Cup of Chee was my own show, so I had my own radio show. But I took a little pause for some personal reasons. You know what I'm saying? A few little personal reasons. I took a little pause and got some things together, right? And Chief was already on the Morning Source.
Right. Shout out Chief.
Shout out my guy Chief, man. That's my guy, man. Right? He was already on it. And I was like, man, I'm gonna try to get back on radio. I miss doing it. I miss those interactions. I love social media, so I think radio kind of sort of like social media, especially because now you get to show your face while you doing it, right?
Right.
You're like, let's get on there together. I said, all right, cool. I got that little gap open.
Right.
6 in the morning, 10 in the morning. I got that gap open. I'm cool with that.
Let's do it.
Right. So he's like, all right, let's do it. Holla at Phil. He said, all right, make it happen. And man, it's been crazy ever since. Let me tell you how crazy it's been.
Tell me.
I got back in the radio, I'm gonna say April this year. That just passed. April. This year right here, my fault. April this year.
Yeah.
And they did the radio awards, not radio awards, the Baltimore Sun. They did Radio Host of the Year for 2022.
Yeah.
Reader's Choice. You can Google that shit. Hashtag Mr. Got That Glow. You can Google that shit. Google that shit and tell it. Hashtag Mr. Got That Glow. Google that shit right now.
Oh my God.
You get what I'm saying? It's gonna pop up. Baltimore Sun Reader's Choice. I was one of the top 4 radio hosts of the year. Just getting back in the radio April this year.
Yeah. For sure. We turn this into a podcast. Anytime you get 2 or 3 or more curse words you need to, it's fine. We're just gonna convert it. We just gonna convert it to a podcast. It's no longer a radio show. You just took over and made it a podcast. It's lit. Man, so I mean, for the new listeners who haven't discovered your platform yet, what are some things you usually discuss on your show? I kind of gave a little bit of insight early on, but what does your show consist of usually?
Like you said earlier, just to piggyback off of that, relationships. But there's more relationships in aspects, like even our relationship, right? We got a personal relationship outside of here, but on here, you almost could tell how you communicate, with the whole cussing, right? But that was the thing. It was like radio, no cussing. Podcast, it's open,
it's
right?
no more.
It's open, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We discuss relationships in that aspect, in the toxicity, in those aspects. Whereas though you hear different opinions. Like, it's crazy how people look at toxic.
Yeah.
Like, everybody look at toxic a little different. Like, and then we had certain guests every week, and then that guest, nobody never sounded like. You'll have 6 people in a room, and 6 people
have a different definition of toxic.
Yeah. It's no 2 people literally like, oh yeah. No, it's like, well, no, wait a minute, no, because it's this, that, and the third, right? So, somebody like myself, I think toxic is positive. Okay. That's the crazy part about it.
Okay.
So if you ever go through the whole 16 episodes that we got so far.
Toxic Clinic,
the Toxic Clinic. Yeah. Shout out to Toxic Clinic, man. It's crazy.
On YouTube
right now. Right now. Go subscribe, man. Appreciate it. If you go through all the episodes, 16 of them, I talk about how toxic is positive. Whereas everybody else, there's no way toxic is never positive.
It's oxymoron, and it's crazy because I do want to tap into toxic masculinity a little bit, because that was one of the things that you've referenced on the show ad nauseum, of course. Yes. But I want to ask you, do you at least believe that the general consensus of toxic masculinity is real? How people think of it, like, if you talk about toxic masculinity on the song, it's like, oh, he did me dirty, he ghosted me, he ain't whatever, fill in the blank there. Do you think it's real, and do you also believe in toxic femininity on the opposite end?
I think they're both real, and I think men use toxic femininity the right way, but the backlash from using it the right way. Listen to what I'm telling you. Listen, for instance, toxic femininity is arguing, right? That's arguing, right?
Sure.
If a man argue, he doing the right thing. Because you can't hit a woman, right?
Yeah.
First and foremost, you ain't hitting a woman, right?
So the best you can do is
argue. The only thing you can do is argue. You can't do nothing else.
Yeah.
Like think about it at the lowest capacity. Like if you with your girl and y'all just disagree on something, the most you can do is yell at her.
It's argue.
Because even if she hit you still not supposed to hit her back. You know what I'm saying? Right? So why not argue? But the backlash to arguing is you acting like what? A female. But that's how females express their masculinity. That's feminine masculinity.
All right, I'm starting to piece the puzzle together now. Yeah.
Right, right. So I feel as though if we used it the way that we do it anyway, and not just take it the wrong way when they hurt our pride. I mean, we doing what we supposed to. Women, they got the verbal. They can do anything.
Yeah.
They can do anything. They can do anything. So it don't even matter however you want to label whatever they doing, label it whatever they do. Men, we gotta pick and choose a little bit more, because the way we express ourselves is under a microscope.
It can be conceived as violent, it can be seen as threatening, and all the extra things. Yeah.
So the toxic part of it is like, look at it in a positive way. So if I argue with you, like, all right, just argue with me then.
I can only imagine what an argument shopping match
Yeah,
was like.
argue with me. Alright, what's the difference in you arguing with your homeboys about sports? It's still a relationship.
Not much.
It's still a relationship. It's the exact. It's still a relationship.
I guess the conversation would be slightly different. Like it wouldn't be about personal things. It would be about your team versus my team.
Right.
If it's with a girl or your significant other, it's like it's about us. It's about like stuff that you did on the low, stuff that I did on the low, stuff that I know about, and stuff I don't know about. That's going to factor into how we have the conversation. But I think that is the only sort of major difference. It's a relationship. We're passionate about it. We having a full argument on that topic. But I do want to get into, there's like this thing in the manosphere right now that people talk about being an alpha male, and like this whole conversation about what an alpha is, a beta, what I have no understanding of the conversation whatsoever. However, I do get a general sense of like an alpha male is like a provider or something. What is your take on being an alpha male and its benefits in like society today?
I think that alpha, as it was described in time, it was just when you leave your house, check your emotions right then and there. Right? That's what it was for. Shit.
You good?
That's what it was all about. Right?
I can't tell you what that means.
Right. It was when you leave your house, check your emotions, and control that when you outside.
Yeah.
That was what an alpha was. Right?
Gotcha.
Controlling your emotions, knowing when to wild out, right?
Facts.
Knowing when to nut up, right? It ain't about nutting up all the time. Some of that stuff you just gotta let it go, right? When that's an alpha, right? I feel as though women can never be alphas because of that point alone.
Gotcha.
They make most of their decisions off of their emotions. Men, we was told to check that when you left the house. That was what we was told. That was literally what we was told.
Black man too,
right, especially being a black man, right? Now when we dive into emotions, now, et cetera, fast forward to now, man, we too deep into our emotions, et cetera. Like that's a real long conversation, right? Like we've had that conversation on the toxic clinic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it's one of the ones where I think when it did happen, they got in touch with their emotional side.
Talk about, I think, a lot, or has talked about the most, sort of this alpha versus like beta sort of, I guess, duality was Kevin Samuels.
Right.
Rest in peace, of course. Like when he was alive, did you watch any of his shows?
I different than that.
You've seen
certain stuff.
Like, what impact in your eyes did he have, like, even after death, on like the black community and how we view sort of this masculinity?
I seen a lot of it after he died, just because I was told that's what I should do. Right? Check it out.
Research,
Check it out. I didn't disagree with a lot of what he was saying. I disagree with more of the price he was putting on it. Right? He was putting a lot of prices on where people are supposed to be, in a sense, right? When you hear about dating or relationships or coming together, it's more than just love, it's more than just money. It seemed like he weighed a lot of his opinions on the price, the financial stability of a lot of situations.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that because, I thought it was about love, right? But how can you say that when people say, no, it's more, it takes more than love, right? It takes a whole lot more. So that was the only thing I disagree with, is though he weighed a lot from what I've seen, the little clips and all that. I never watched the whole hour, no change. I've seen a lot of arguments with him and a lot of his female viewers, right? Like, I wouldn't have went into arguments a lot, but a lot of it made sense though. Like, in the way he was presenting it, the way they was presenting themselves. You're allowing the man to talk to you a certain kind of way, why wouldn't he talk to you a certain kind of way?
Makes sense. Yeah, for sure. And I think it's like, I seen actually a little bit of him after he passed on like an episode of Atlanta. By the way, if you haven't watched Atlanta, you need to watch It's the Blackest Show on TV.
Okay.
But I seen him, and his role he played wasn't even on relationships, but it was more like sort of an acting role. And I was like, oh, I'm glad he's in a positive light for once, outside of the controversy, just to see him. I never watched his shows, but I think, like I mentioned before, he's sort of inhabiting the space on the internet. I think it's a specific niche in like a corner of the internet that's like the manosphere, sort of, like the Andrew Tates, the Kevin Samuels sort of thing. Well, Kevin Samuels no longer in the picture, but now, you see like Andrew Tate. And I think like leaving it in his hands was like horrible because.
So I got a question even to that. Yeah. Even when we listening to specific people present a specific way of looking, they have certain ideas, right?
Charleston White is another example.
Right.
I gotta get your take on Charles White too, because that's like, man.
That's a good example though, right? Like, that's a good example. Whereas though you can say certain things a certain way, right? And you should be able to be good with it, right? But certain things get took in a certain way, like the way the way he present his good gracious. Yeah, like that guy's crazy, man.
He is insane, but it's fine.
Crazy, man. Like yeah, so I would never present any kind of anything that way.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think it's incendiary. I think it's meant to like sort of, you know, get a bunch of backlash, get a bunch of controversy around the topic that you said, even if it has some truth into it, you know. And I think that's the game now. I think the game now for anybody that's speaking online is to make the most inflammatory, incendiary comment, but have some truth in there. Have some truth in there that so much that you can't really argue the point. But what you said was still a problem, in a way, you know. And I think there's a responsibility, you know. I want to talk to you about that and sort of, you know, being in a position of, you know, being on 1500 radio and talking about really deep conversations like relationships and what people do to each other. You know, how do you toe the line of like, you know, sort of being responsible for what you're saying but still giving, you know, accurate piece of information, not just some tidbit of truth that, you know, people can just run with, but like actual good points. Because I've seen you don't do it.
So, man, that was loaded, right? So multiple platforms. And I think the most specific thing behind my podcast is what separates from the podcast I do watch and enjoy myself. Honestly, right? Most of the podcasts I do watch and enjoy, they're more interview style podcasts.
Yeah, definitely. Same.
The Toxic Clinic podcast I have is content based only. Like it's not interview style, it's content across the board, so it's a lot of emote, a lot of passion.
Yeah,
it's a lot of passion. Every like if you see it, it's a lot of passion. Then when you mix it with libations, it's even more passion, right? Right? So I think my podcast that's what separated from every other podcast, and even myself that I enjoy, is more content based than interview style or tunnel style. It ain't just battle rap, it ain't just sports, it ain't just relationships. It's just content all around the board, right?
Right.
It's not based on celebrity actions or anything like that, right? On the radio though, now it's control. It's control. It's celebrity usage. It's the cheat sheets.
Right. Yeah.
It's just reach your hand out there, grab some information, and use it.
Yeah.
Right? As long as it's attention grabbing, right? I think that's what got so many subscribers to my podcast.
Yeah.
Because it's content based.
And I only ask that question because I want to compare that to sort of how we handle relationships. You know, we handle certain areas in our lives, and you know, specifically let's say radio, we would handle that a certain way versus other things.
Correct.
In a relationship, it's like, I think that's the delineation. It's like either be super aggressive and follow the manosphere code, or like something else, which is like a more positive angle, and finding that good middle balance, you know. What do you think is the most, I guess, healthiest balance you can attain in a relationship with your significant other?
I'm a hoe. I can't answer that. So I think that's a relationship question. I'm a hoe. Like, it's hard to answer.
Can we say that already? That's a podcast. It's one of them episodes. Ground Theory Radio, we hit Mike on the mic, DJ RTs, we got Chee in the middle.
Mr. Goddamn Glow.
1500, what's up?
I want to apologize to everybody that's listening, man. Listen, it's hard to answer that question for myself because relationships to me, they present them one way, but the way I look at a relationship, it don't exist. So it's hard for me to answer that question.
Gotcha. You view relationships as more intangible than like something you can explain. I got you. Yeah, I definitely feel that. I feel that. I mean, you know, being in your platform, you kind of got it.
Because see, on the platform, I be trying to explain this even to like females I deal with. Like on the platform, I say certain things on both platforms. Like I really answer it differently. Like on radio, if a specific topic brought up, like the Brittany Griner situation, right? I'm gonna respond a certain way on radio because I know sponsors are paying to hear certain things. and I'm more aware, just to keep it on. And again, that's why I say with the swag, y'all.
Of course,
right?
Of course, yeah.
On the other hand, the podcast, that's I put that out there myself, right? So, and then it's a podcast.
Of course.
It's now based on information coming out politically correct, not just entertaining, right? It ain't about saying outlandish stuff, but entertaining stuff. And so that's how I separate it because of that. Because it's an easy way to say on radio I gotta be this way. On the podcast I can be any kind of way.
That line becomes
And then early in the morning I'm half asleep anyway. So I ain't saying for too much anyway in the morning.
You going crazy, man, my God. And speaking of relationship, David, I want to ask you one final sort of set of questions. We've seen probably the biggest relationship scandal in modern history with the Good Morning America situation with Amy Robach and TJ Holmes. Black guy, white woman anchor. Apparently they're both married and they were both cheating with each other.
Okay.
Apart from their marriage. So they're married separately, they go to work and they cheat. And so they're both
and they black and white.
And they black and white.
And they black and white. Okay.
His wife is black, by the way. He's black man, he has black wife, by the way. Just for context.
Okay. Because I don't know who them two people are.
No, it's fine.
That's why I say
Good Morning America, big, news show, right? Do you think what they did is wrong if they found love? Like, do you think that if they fell in love genuinely, as co-workers, do you think it was wrong to, for them to leave their relationships and pursue actual love? Or do you think that it's messed up around the board and, you made your vows, you're supposed to stick with whoever you with? What's your take? Cheese take, 1500.
Yo, toxic. Yo, toxic.
In a good way, because it's positive, right?
Yo, toxic. So, and this is the good way. Yeah. Because somebody will look at that whole situation as a toxic situation. Like, how do you even deal with that? Sure. How do you even fall in love? Right?
Yeah.
That would be the whole question anybody would ask. My take on it is, yeah, you can fall in love.
Yeah.
I think you can fall in love repetitively.
I'm in a group chat.
To multiple people or even the same person.
Yeah.
Depending on where you at in life. I think if you rich, you should never get married because you fall in love every night.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you got the best company.
If you got the means to enjoy your life.
Yeah, for sure.
As a real man, think about it. Why drag somebody through the mud, right? If you want to enjoy your life as a rich man, like you know what you're gonna do, you're gonna live a promiscuous lifestyle, right? So at that point, so if you got the means, then go in. But if not, and you want to just give it that, you're gonna do it for that one person, but it's gonna take a lot. That's why I think that's where that work come in for marriages. I don't think the work come in for love. I think that's just to stay around because you fall in love with somebody every day.
Yeah.
So you can meet somebody and fall in love with them, I swear to God. People call it lust, but it don't be.
It don't be lust.
It don't be lust, man. It don't be lust.
Man.
You don't stop lusting.
You never stop lusting. Yeah.
You never stop lusting. Yeah. You stop loving. You ever heard you say, I ain't in lust with that person no more? No. Never. Not never. Dude, never heard nobody say, I am not in lust with that person no more. No. You still in lust with everything about that person. But you're not in love with them. You don't want to be around them all day long.
Right.
But what you would do, you're going to spend about 10 hours with them. You'll spend about 10 hours with them, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. To my lovers, man, I hope you're listening. You
think about it, man.
You really not in love with them. You're not,
they in love.
I don't know if they really in love.
The same way you fall in love, you can fall out of love.
Hey,
you can't fall in lust. You just lust for something. Listen, listen. You lust for something. Lusting is an action. Love is an emotion. That's why it's hit and miss. It's hit and miss. But you're gonna always. So if you lust for a big butt, you always gonna lust for a big butt. That's what you lust for. It's an action, right? But love, you don't love the big, you lust for it, right? So the lust never. Toxic Clinic, man. Check me out.
I'm telling you, make sure you tap into the Toxic Clinic, man. Because listen, you get all this relationship advice, and you get to sort of navigate the field the appropriate way. Because you already see it coming. We're gonna talk about it. Don't even worry about it, man. 1500 Radio, man. Any final words for the lovers? Chee, talk to them one last time.
Listen, man. Have a lot of sex. I can't say that, right? I can't say that.
Yes.
Have a lot of sex. Alright, last thing.
Number 2. There you go.
No, last thing. That was, wait a minute. For men, live on your own with your own lease for a whole year straight before you ever commit to any one woman. Ever. If you want to know why I tell you that, turn into the Toxic Clinic. Hit me or at Mr. Got That Glow _Chee on Instagram. For men, if you want the answer to why I say that, women have a whole lot of sex all the time. All the time. Whether with that one guy, if you're going to be committed to him, or if you're going to be out there ripping and running, just have a whole lot of sex. You're going to be able to think a lot better. You're going to be able to think a lot better. Your thought, you won't just think one way. You will think outside the box.
Post clarity.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Exactly.
Yeah,
man, so y'all heard it first, man.
and if you
voice
seriously, I
himself.
want to hear it, man. Hashtag Mr. Got That Glow.
Mr. Got That Glow, Chee. Hey, Chee, you here, and I appreciate you. It's always a pleasure pulling up with us, man.
I'm the only person that walk around with a blunt like this.
You gotta see it in person.
Take my advice. Take my advice.
You gotta see it in person. You can't see it through the radio, but you know you gotta see it in
Take
person.
my advice. Take my advice.
I appreciate you for coming out, bro. I look forward to all you got, all the shows you're planning to do, as well as any appearances you got. Man, I'll leave you with one short, secret Baltimore proverb, and that is, keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me, man. I swear to God, you more than welcome. I can't wait till you come on the show. You know, I've been invited.
Man, you know, I'm there.
Come outside.
Now it's record. It's on record. I'm there.
So, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. we record live. We add on YouTube Saturdays at 10 p.m.
Yeah, once again, it's MikeOnTheMic from the Vibe Perspective Podcast with my guys at Ground 3 Radio, DJ RTs. Call in at 443-377-1872. Leave a message about Chee, The Morning Source, your favorite show if it's anything, RTs. Let's give them a 5 one time, man.